Response video to some vile commentary by To Be Serious. Yeah, so I will not react as she deserves, but yeah, to say the least, slanderous and just disgustingly patronizing from, well, whatever. It just is obnoxious. I wish you would PM me to let me know you've posted a response to me. Yeah, well, whatever on that. Yeah, you want everything, don't you? You made a number. I mean, you make public statements. People can publicly respond to your statements. You're either interested in the subject or you're not. Yeah, yeah. You made a number of mistaken assumptions about me. For example, I do not feel it makes sense to bring children into the world as it is. Yeah, well, you've given us no explanation of what world you would say it's okay to bring children into. When that begins or ends. What exactly has to be fixed before it's an okay world for children. Human children. Yeah, and in the video that she's responding to, the person did make reference to the fact that there are bystanders in this subject. There are these people who say it's okay for people to replicate. I personally choose not to, but I'll let other people do what I personally think is wrong. Yeah, like that makes sense. Anyway, however, I also appreciate that I cannot force anyone to think as I do. So that sentence in itself, how is it forced? People are making videos explaining a position. Is that force? Explain the force exactly imposed in making these arguments. Is there something in these arguments that are in fact impositional? No. They're saying something is wrong, and they're advocating for change. Now, they could do that in a lot of contexts throughout history. There was slavery, there was women getting the right to vote. There was a civil rights movement, right? People got shot over it, expressing their opinions. So yeah, that's what you do. You express an opinion, you say something is wrong, and we should have laws against it. How is that inappropriate? The Mothers Against Drunk Driving did that. Did they commit a crime against humanity by arguing for a position? Did they do this impose thing that you're talking about? Is that what they did? They imposed? They forced? Did they force something? They argued in defense of something. They pointed out how something is wrong and that we should make it a crime. Is that force? No, it isn't. Okay. I appreciate it. Cannot force anyone to think as I do. Well, again, no one's trying to force people to think a way. They're trying to persuade them to think a way. So again, this obnoxious rhetoric of yours, this insulting rhetoric. Try not to get angry, Gary. I've never heard of an ethicist explanation of how they ensure that human beings would give up procreation. So that's just an overt lie, right? Everybody listening to this video, can you actually defend that statement? That nobody has argued about mechanisms, incentive programs, that no one has made the fundamental point that most people in civilized countries are not replicating sufficient to maintain their current population, that the only way they do maintain their current population is to import ignorance and stupidity. Okay? Have those arguments not been heard? Are there actually no videos pointing that out? Has no one heard them make arguments that they could create incentive programs by paying people to get sterilized? Has no one made those arguments? Has no one talked about a voucher program, for example, where people would give it a voucher for to replicate, and that they could solicit the vouchers from other people if they wish to have more than 2 children? Has no one heard of these arguments being made? No, of course they have been made, and now this is just slander, more propaganda produced by these anti-antis who don't want to argue the truth and the facts. They just wish to smear mud and spit, okay, because they can't make an argument. They don't want to have a fair fight. They want to cheat constantly. Okay. All right. I've never heard, yeah. Well, I'd say that right there is a lie. It's just an overt, outrageous lie. Okay. I'd like a good explanation of how that could be accomplished without force, coercion, or violence. Well, coercion. What do you mean by coercion? You mean somebody made an argument and called somebody an asshole? You mean Mothers Against Drunk Drivers called drunks assholes and therefore they coerced them out of their freedom to be drunks by making them feel bad? I mean, people post images like this making people feel bad. Oh, is that terrible? They made them feel bad? Is that coercion? Miss Obnoxious? Oh, I can't make the video without getting angry. This argument is just so preposterously hypocritical and duplicitous. It's just disgusting. So again, force, coercion, violence. None of those things have been advocated as anything like Plan A or Plan B or Plan C even. They've been stated that if, if you had opportunity before World War II to press a button, okay, that just blew the fucking world up instead of torturing all those people for all those years, that, yeah, you might say it's better to just press the fucking button then. Alright? Don't starve the Jews to death. Don't kill all these good men. Don't horribly burn down half the fucking world. And then don't drop 2 nuclear fucking bombs. Yeah, and if somebody said, yeah, let's just press the button before that event, you'd call them some sort of horrid, disgusting creature. Fuck you. Sorry. See, there's just no way not to respond to this with the anger it deserves. This vile puke that this stupid, skanky cunt spills onto the fucking internet. Yeah, I mean, really, you disgusting creature. I understand that you care about suffering. No, you don't understand shit. And that's the whole fucking problem, you patronizing cunt. Like you give a damn while you sit in your fucking comfy chair and preach at people about, this is the strategy for failure. I've knitted a ton of Band-Aids. Why aren't you using my knitted Band-Aids to cure polio? Yeah, fuck you and your Band-Aids. And that you feel that the reason you'd push the red button, you have reason. Do you think, though, that the fact that you would be deciding the fate of every living being. Okay, there you go. So what's deciding the fate now, Miss Pretentious? Explain to me what's deciding now. Oh, as I understand it, it's a replicating molecule. It's called natural selection. Now, as I understand it, natural selection didn't even graduate from kindergarten. Okay, natural selection doesn't know what fairness is. It doesn't know what dignity is. It doesn't know what proportionality is. It doesn't know what waste is. It doesn't know what deserve is. It doesn't know what consent is. It doesn't have the vocabulary to even read your comment, right? And that's what's deciding now. So basically, there is a dictator in place who isn't as bad as Saddam Hussein or Machiavelli or Machiavellian or, just pick an Hitler. He's not as dumb as Hitler. He's even dumber than Hitler. He even has less values than Hitler. He doesn't even pet his dogs. He doesn't even smack people who treat dogs badly. He doesn't do any of that shit. He's in power now. The most disgusting dictator you could possibly contrive. Jabba the fucking Hutt is now deciding the fate of every living being on this planet. And you're saying she doesn't have a right to say, I can do better than that. Yeah. No, I think she does. I think she does have a right. So anyway, then might create misgivings on your part. Again, misgivings about what? I'm going to depose nuclear Adolf Hitler. I'm going to depose the worst frickin' dictator that you could possibly contrive. Something so stupid, so evil in its lack of understanding of a single decent thing. It understands not one single element of decency. It understands nothing. It has no comprehension of decency at all. And I'm going to dispose it, and I'm supposed to have misgivings. Oh, maybe the evil, nasty Mega Hitler is okay after all, because it made pretty colors. It made rainbows. It must be okay, it made rainbows. Yeah, right. I'm supposed to take this seriously. Anyway. The difference between most anti-natalist and red button ethicists is, as I understand it, yeah, as you will pervert it and distort it and lie about it, is that ANs for the most part want to encourage curbing suffering. Well, again, if you're anti-procreation for population control, okay, you really wouldn't call yourself anti-natalist. You'd say you're for zero population growth. You'd say you're for rational resource utilization. You'd call yourself something else. You wouldn't use the word procreation. You wouldn't use the word natalism. If you thought there was something potentially productive in the act under special circumstances. So anti-natalists really are just human-centric. They're just blaming humans. They're saying, look, humans have made shit. Humans drop bombs on each other. Humans are idiots. Humans do this crap. That's what they're saying. And they're saying, okay, well, we fixed it because we fixed human. No, an ethicist, the only difference between an anti-natalist and somebody who's going to call themselves an ethicist, in my opinion, is first a person has to be comfortable with being associated with me, which is sort of difficult for some people. But the bottom line would be the purpose of ethicism is the word life spelled backwards, because the point is that the problem isn't human beings. The world would be just as suck if great white sharks ruled the world, or tyrannosauruses ruled the world, or you could almost take any other organism on this planet, and if you gave them a scheming brain and gave them nuclear weapons, they would be just as much of a menace as we are. Because they're still going to be selfish individuals. They're still going to be playing their natural game until they got smart enough to say we have to do better than that. And you people aren't smart enough to say we have to do better than that. Because you won't come out of the closet and admit what you are. You're a pantheist. So quit being a duplicitous hypocrite and just to admit your pantheism. Admit that you think the DNA is God, that it knows what it's doing, that it has a default right to reverence, that we should all be bowing to its magnificent authority. Admit it. Admit what you are, and quit pretending to be some kind of serious, rational thinker when all you are is an astrologist. Anyway, at most point, I want to encourage curbing suffering, while ethicists would eliminate sentience by pushing the red button in order to accomplish their goal. Well, again, that's ethicists have made almost as clear as they can make it. Look, we're making the argument against procreation. We're informing you that there's only a tiny percentage of the human race that's creating most of the excess human population, all of the excess population, and all of the maintained population. And if you just controlled the behavior of these most ignorant, most reckless, most sloppy, and malicious in their procreation, right? 90% of these people having all these kids are having kids for Allah. They're having kids in horrid relationships of inequity where women are forced to have these children. They're having kids for Social Security policies. They're having kids to like their lottery tickets. They're having kids to make farm workers out of them. They're having kids to place their fucking male name on them. This is the reason why these people are having children. The entire maintenance of the human race is based on these kind of debaucherous reasons, these usury reasons for having kids, and you don't have the integrity to stand up and say, no, I think that's wrong too. And you're going to malign people who say that's wrong, and that we can correct that we can have policies in place that says, yes, you're not going to have 15 kids on the dole for selfish, egomaniacal, silly reasons. That yes, you're not going to be a reckless producers of these valuable things and treat them like garbage and raise them to be ignorant menaces to society. That yes, we should stop that as rational human beings. Instead of knitting band-aids to stick on their forehead, that maybe we should whip them with a fucking stick now and then and say you can't do that. Oh, God. Anyway. By pushing the red button in order to accomplish their goal. So yes, the red button has come up in thought experiments, just to measure the amount of somebody's commitment, and the fact that in the scheme of things, it is just a fact. We know World War III is coming. You can pretend it's not, but it's coming. Alright? And you're saying it's going to be okay. And somebody who says, I don't think it is going to be okay, has no right to act logically in that circumstance. If they had the power, they're supposed to sit there and lie and say, I wouldn't do it, when they know they would do it. That they would prevent your insipid Band-Aid philosophy from perpetuating zillions of cases of whatever, red vomit fever from happening, because you won't have a solution to the problem. You'll just let it happen. You'll see it on the horizon. You'll see it coming. And you'll hold up one of your stupid knitted Band-Aids. And yes, the rational people say, that's not going to work. Your fucking Band-Aid isn't going to stop that red tide. Jeez. But yeah, you're an idiot, a fool, a malicious monster if you dare to admit that you have no faith in the to-be-serious Band-Aid solution. Yeah. One last comment. As I'm sure you know, it makes... as I'm sure you know... I'll do a to-be-serious voice. It makes sense to do what you can right now to stop the suffering of animals, like the tortured pigs you used in this video. Yeah, but they're not tortured right now, are they? No, they're dead now. And so, if I put up a string of gutted wildebeests by the lions, or crocodile food, or maggots eating into the brains of some bovine, what would that? What are you going to do about that suffering? Well, what's your solution to that suffering? I could show you an image of an orangutan with polio just falling out of the tree, tumbling down, down onto the ground to be eaten by whatever gets him, whatever parasites and snakes and other crap comes for him, as he just sits there with his polio, dying. What are you doing about that? What brilliant Band-Aid solution do you have for that? Oh, that's right, you have no solution whatsoever. You have no acknowledgement of it as a problem, because that was made by the God. God made that tragedy, so it's got to be a brilliant tragedy. It's not a man-made horror. That's one of the beautiful natural horrors. Yeah, DNA horrors are just beautiful. The blood that the DNA spills is just so much prettier than human blood spilled. Yeah, idiot. The tortured pigs you used in this video. And not wait for the red button. Who's waiting for it? Is anybody waiting for it? Are we just sitting here saying, oh, where's my red button? No, we're making rational arguments why humans like you should grow the fuck up, okay, admit what the fuck's going on this planet, and sit there and sensibly say, yes, I'm for policies that wind the game down. Alright, that mechanisms that will put this bowl of toxic soup, it will slow down the mix, slow the whole thing down so we can just wind this thing out, because there really is nothing to get accomplished here. Absolutely, this is all you can do, is create more consumption, more reproduction, more consumption, more reproduction. That's what this machine does, and it does it at insidious cost, and you have no Band-Aid solution that's worth a rational person's consideration. None of your knitted solutions have anything to do with fixing any of it. I mean really, by percentages, what do you think this adds up to? All the pigs killed by the human race today, how does it compare with all the sentient mammals being destroyed today by your DNA god? How many? Let's just calculate the rodents alone. The number of rodents on the rack this day alone. And you tell me how your Band-Aid solutions fix that. They don't, quite obviously. Alright, I feel sure that you must be then working with non-violent animal rights groups to become a vegan and a vegetarian yourself. I'm sure you're knitting Band-Aids just as quickly as I am, because Band-Aids are the only solution. Knitted Band-Aids. Everybody must knit Band-Aids right away. Start knitting your Band-Aids. No, I'm not knitting band-aids. I don't think she's knitting band-aids. I don't think she thinks there's any point, okay, in if the, you know, it's all a measure of degree, all right, and you're patronizing preaching to this choir, all right, as if she needs you to tell her about the crimes we can prevent, the ones that she can as an individual prevent, and that she needs you to inform her. No, you're the one who needs to be informed that this is 1/100th, 1/1000th, 1/1,000,000th of the goddamn problem. You're not really paying fucking attention. Alright, you're the one who needs the education. You're the one who needs to up your standards a bit. Okay, and work with groups trying to limit human population growth. Yeah, again, limited to what? And in what manner? Like, let's save the whales so we can farm them, right? That's the right thing to do, right? Is to farm the wild animals. Those are decisions you can make. The red button is a fantasy, but working to change things is doable now. Yeah, well, again, you think you're going to solve the problem of life, okay, by what? Where again, you tell me, how many people become, let's say we make the whole world vegetarian. Okay, all the human beings are vegetarian. Now is it okay to just keep playing the game? Keep building your little crystal cities. Keep playing the game just the way it is. Go to the store and buy some rat poison. Right? It's all okay, right? We've solved all the major, the only problems that matter, we've solved them. Because human beings aren't eating animals anymore. So everything's okay. Is that it? It's all solved. There's no poverty in the world anymore. No problems. Just keep running the human engine because we're doing just swell. Life on Earth is great because there's, let's say, 3 billion little happy rainbow chasing fucking humans. That's the extent of your understanding of what sentience is on planet Earth, right? It's just about the humans. Yeah, we get it. And it's just about it's just about, well, there's nothing to say, right? I mean, how can you be so duplicitous? How is this pig, this human created pig, it's like pointing at laboratory mice or something and saying these are the only mice. Once we get rid of laboratory mice getting tortured, we've solved all the problem. All the mice are safe now. Is that what you believe? Yeah, so anyway. God. Yeah, I mean, this is just, deal with the real argument. Again, defend nature as deciding the fate of 99.999999% of sentient life on Earth the fate is being decided by natural selection. Defend natural selection as a game worth playing. Defend it or shut the fuck up.